When we started off, there was such a small handful of us that we really got the sense of we were starting off with something new and something very unknown for all of us.
When I first went to college out of high school, I focused on photography and marketing, but photography was more of a hobby.
When I bought the school as one of my clients, because my life dream was to own my own business, it was located in Monessen. In fact, it was located in this building. So the condition of me buying that school was to leave it in Monessen.
I honestly didn't look at very many other film schools. The day I came up here, I met Tom, and I was starstruck. It was really the first time I met a film professional.
It wasn't even really called The Factory. It was called Tom Savini's Digital Film School.
I chose The Factory solely on the fact that Tom Savini was involved with it.
So the start was, the transition was to take it from a commuting school, which at the time I bought it was a business and secretarial school, to the school that it is today, which is in entertainment, in arts, premier makeup school.
They were getting the school up and running, and I remember Jerry told me they were going to do this film school, and I stood out front and I go, "Are you out of your mind? This is the dumbest idea that I've ever heard in my life."
I thought Jeff and Tom were a little bit crazy because even though we were growing as a school and our makeup effects program was growing, I wasn't sure that we could pull it off.
I think that what the vision that Jeff and Tom, because you can never forget, even though we changed the name of the program, Tom's still very involved and still very much collaborates with us and is very proud of it.
When the first class came in, we're looking at these kids and, are they filmmakers? Are they really into this kind of stuff?
And the very first semester, there were like 7 of us that just kind of got tossed into the mix. They were still under construction. It wasn't until the second semester that some of the facilities were even usable. It's like the end of the second semester, they finally finished even the theater. But
there were 4 in my class, and I was very fortunate that, we all stayed really close together for it.
It wasn't until I got to watch movies with Bill Heinzman and he would pause it and talk about him being on set and what they had to do in order to get this shot that you really start to think about all of the details that need to be handled in order to get the shot. A great cinematographer, he was a great person to learn from. It was a lot of fun.
Bob Tennell and his crew were scouting the area so he could shoot his movie.
Bob Tennell came in our second semester and really changed things around and created a studio system style film school.
And that's how I met him, and that's how he came to be the director of the program.
We kind of wanted to go in a different direction in film. And we brought Bob in, and he brought a whole new perspective and so much experience, and it just flowed after that.
I owe the characteristics, the heart and soul behind that program is Bob Tennell.
President Imbrescia is my friend. He has courage. I love the fact that he'll take a chance. It's been one of my favorite things about working with him. Not the most patient guy. And he wanted this thing and he wanted it to go.
And when I brought the special effects in and the digital film, they told me I was crazy. They told me I was nuts. Who does he think he is?
And it's that attitude that enables you to build a really super successful film school in less than 5 years. Or, like down at Savini in less than 10 years to have an Oscar nominee or Oscar winner.
Who's laughing now, Matt? Who's laughing now?
He did his job at bringing his experience in, and he really laid the law down.
It was, I'm not gonna lie, I was gonna kill Vince. I was gonna kill Vince. That's just all I'm gonna say.
This is the only reason I show up on set. The only reason.
The second day that I'm here, I go down the street to the police station and ask to see the chief of police, Gibby. And I introduce myself and I go, "Look, there's gonna come a point, more than one time, that you're going to see some idiot kid hanging out of a car with a camera, photographing another idiot kid who's probably firing a pistol.
I think the police were called on us maybe a total of 5 times while I was here.
I would appreciate it if it's at all possible that you not shoot them and get a hold of me so that we can, you know, alleviate the situation.
Phil and Vince really became like my brothers here. You know, we were all so tight. We were all such a big family, but it was really the two of them. They really took on headstrong leadership roles when it came to, you know, this is the pathway that's, you know, gonna progress from here on out.
A big benefit of going to film school is once you graduate, the people that you know in the industry are the people that you graduated with.
It's difficult actually not to feel somewhat responsible for the kids, you know, and I mean, and I'm pretty close with just about everyone that's ever graduated from here, I would say.
Throughout the 16 months that we're there, we really established a great fellowship with our fellow classmates, and the projects that we worked on were everything from music videos, short films, all the way up to feature films.
We did a radio contest where we put together 2 films. We were in separate groups. One group was doing a spirit type of haunted movie, and my film was spirits like haunted in a car, and we were doing it right here on the soundstage. And everything just fell perfectly into place that day. You know, 2 scripts were written, 2 films were shot, edited, completed, all within such a short amount of time. But we had, you know, 2 semesters of film students along with cosmetology and Savini students working along with our films, that it worked, you know, for the first official time. Like I said, it was the middle of my 2nd semester, and everything just really did fall into place. I distinctly remember Bob. He just slams open the door and he goes, "This is it. This is the moment that we all became a school. This is what's going to happen. This is how we're going to be."
The very first time that I was actually on a set was when Bob Tennell directed the Edgar Allan Poe poem Alone with the Nosferatu scene. We shot it up here on the green screen.
We had this huge, elaborate styrofoam set built of these old cathedral ruins. And back then, the green screen was only like this 20 feet behind me.
We actually built sets, had real lights, had real cameras, you know, used the dolly. It was the very first time that I actually saw how the workings of a film set go.
And we had a kid dressed as Nosferatu, and one of the girls who was in my class was, you know, his leading lady. And for a commercial for the school, I posed as a boom op, and we shot this huge elaborate production. But when you saw it go from a set on green screen transformed to an actual like night sky with like wheat fields behind the cathedral stone where that looked like real stone, it was really intriguing that, you know, we're making this, you know, yeah, we're on a green screen, but no one will ever see that.
It is a great thing about this school that, you know, that we create these opportunities for kids to travel and to actually have budgets to work with and parameters to deal with. And Tom was fantastic. I mean, he treated the kids like professionals. He couldn't have been more gracious. He couldn't have spent more time with them. But it was a real show. And if you ask any person who was on that shoot who went on to work in the industry, and I think all of them have, they'll tell you it was for real.
I was the first AD on it. That was the first thing that I really first AD'd. Just getting to work with him after him being the inspiration of me wanting to even come to this school was an awesome experience.
I had the honor to work on the sound, and having Tom Savini walk in and explaining, this is what I'm going for, this is the kind of sound treatment that I want for this film, this is the mood that I want to set, and actually get his positive feedback back on, you know, what's going on and how can we make it to his liking. It was really intense. It was a really great experience, especially, you know, so early in that, you know, it's happening for all of us.
I'm not sure that you can have art without chaos. I need it. I like there to be a million things going at once. I think that we do better. I think you get better service when you go to a restaurant when they're really busy. because people don't have a choice but to do the right thing. So we stay really busy.
I mean, there's more, you end up getting to work on more shows in one semester in this school than most schools get to work on the entire time they're in school. I mean, it's very hands-on, which I found to be very helpful.
Okay, like, this is a true story. The first day that I was here as a teacher, I had a class. It was upstairs. We almost had all the classes upstairs then, and because the other facilities weren't ready. And I lectured, and went through the whole thing. And it was like a 2.5-hour class, and everybody seemed like it was going well. And this one girl smiled and nodded, answered a couple questions, and then she walked down the street and dropped out. Clearly, my charm evaded her, So I don't. Yeah.
Well, I remember my final project being a music video for a local kind of national band called Punchline. They were from Belle Vernon, Pennsylvania, and my friend and one of the students in my class, Josh Blasco, introduced me to these guys, and we just got together each weekend and we discussed some cool concepts on what we could do for a music video, and pretty much that's how the project came together, and I think it made a pretty good lasting impression.
The second final product was Here There Be Monsters, my graduating class, which I got the honor of producing. A friend of mine who was the AD on it, Bob Tennell, directed and wrote the miniseries. We actually sold it to Fangoria.com to show on their website. Each episode ran on a Friday afternoon through the month of October. It was absolutely fantastic. We hired, professional actors. We got to work with a budget. We really got to see the underlyings of how everything starts from start to finish, from casting to set development to script writing to the final product, to the finishing. And as far as it even goes to, burning the DVD off.
Their final product, I feel, still stands to, with the stuff that we're doing today.
There was one scene where we had a homeless man who was running out of a building. He got hit by a car, and when he got hit, his face impacted right on the windshield, and the windshield just shattered from the inside driver's point of view. And we figured the best way for us to film that, we did a backdrop, a green screen, had the actor laying on the car itself, filmed from inside the car, and we had him just pretty much jump off and filmed everything in reverse. And then we put in a After Effects windshield smatter once we rated all the footage to fast forward.
By the time that group graduated, they had proved that they were indeed filmmakers and they were doing it.
Once I graduated from the film school, I was able to step right onto set, and it didn't feel like I was going from a student set to a professional set. It just felt exactly the same.
After graduating from the factory digital film program, a lot of the experience that I gained through that really translated into what I'm doing now, and that's working on feature film documentaries.
Everything the way, from pre-production through production is exactly how you do it in the real world. I mean, obviously you have more money and more resources and things of that nature, but the steps are the same.
It would be pretty hard to drag me out other than that, because it's a great environment.
Whenever I got out into the real world working with people with about the same experience level as me, they didn't have the same understanding or same knowledge that we get coming out of this school.
We are an intensive filmmaking program that stresses hands-on and work ethic, and you know what? We are a factory.
I just want to shout out and say happy 5 years to everybody affiliated with the digital film program, and Bob Tennell and the teachers. Thank you for everything, man. You made the program fun and interesting. God bless. more success to our graduates, and more success to the program. God bless.